Baby, could you do me a favor? Lift your hands or get out. Could you choose one?
These are the kind of people you run away from. There are no rules, there are no societies, there are no boards, there are no governing boards, no agencies that tell us who gets to be a pastor. Anybody, anywhere can decide, I want to be a pastor. Now, think about this for a second. Think about the allure. Think about the prospect of you being seen as someone special, especially for someone who has never really had that sort of attention. That sort of attention can go to your head. Someone patting you on the back, someone listening to your words, someone following your instructions. That can be intoxicating to the people in the pulpit, the person with the mic. And what we see here is just that, this little bit of power, fame, prestige, whatever it is, going to their head. Now, I don't know what's going on here, and some might say, why is she even up there if she doesn't want the men to touch him? I have no idea. What I can say is the reason why he's going back and forth touching her is though he is offended. The fact that she didn't want him putting his hands on her, or maybe for a long period of time. I don't know if he's saying something. I don't know if something is just not feeling right with her. And so he needs to move on. You don't have to touch a person, but it's almost like he gets kind of like a little impetulant kid going back and forth, touching her, and he wants to play with her, almost like he wants to slap her. This guy needs someone to come and lay hands on him. And I mean literally, physically lay hands on him. That is uncalled for, no matter if it's the church or outside of the church. What he did is offensive, and it's egregious to the church body. As a pastor, we are told this by Peter, speaking to those shepherds, those pastors, where we get the word pastor comes from the word shepherd, poimenos, and those who are elders. Look what Peter says in 1 Peter 5. Verse 1, he says, therefore I exhort elders among you as your fellow elder and witness of the sufferings of Christ and partakers also of the glory that is to be revealed. Shepherd the flock. There's that word. Shepherd the flock of God among you. Look what he says. Exercising oversight, not under compulsion. We're going to see this again where a pastor wants to, or someone in the pulpit wants to give some sort of oversight, but he does so, moves people under some sort of compulsion, making them to do so. Look what he says, though, not under compulsion, but voluntarily, according to the will of God, and not for sordid gain, but with eagerness, nor yet as lording it over those allotted to your charge, but proving to be an example of the flock. And when the chief shepherd appears, you will receive an unfading crown of glory. We don't see that with some of these people. We see them wanting to make you do something, guilt you into do something instead of being an example. But rest assured, the chief shepherd is coming. Now, in this next clip, we've got a young man who they gave him the opportunity to go into the mic. And in this point, he wants to preach a certain style. I don't know what his message is. His message is now immaterial. But listen to what he's doing and listen to the focus being on him. And I've got something extra to say after this.
Time shall not be compared to the glory that shall be revealed to us later. You're going to have to go down. That's too high for me. Go to B major. Right quick. Go to B major. Go to B major. B major, half step up. Yeah. All right. Father, I love you today, and I thank you right now. I give you all that you deserve.
No, you're not giving him all that he deserves. He deserves the glory. But for him, the focus is him. Take me in B major. Go up. Give me half step up. Well, first of all, what are you doing? This is the foolishness. This is the kind of the buffoonery that we see in some churches where I can't preach unless I'm hooping and hollering and I've got the organ or what have you behind me. I'd rather show off my skills, and I'm just not being mean, but it's not as though that he sounds like the greatest singer, and that's not the point. The point is you want to get a message across. Now, what's really bothersome is that he's in the pulpit doing this couple things. Who gave him, who put him up there? Who allowed this young fella who, I don't know, he looks like a teenager, who allowed this young fellow to go up there and preach in the first place? You don't vet these people. Secondly, where did he get this from? Is he I don't know if he's a guest. I don't think he's a guest because the older man would not go and just admonish him like that and tell him to preach. So he must be one of your underlings, which tells me that possibly he learned this behavior from your church. He got this from them. And so his only conclusion is, I've got to do it this way, and I've got to make sure that I sound right. And he's heard somebody else somewhere, and I've heard other people say, hey, change the chord that you're using, change the note that you're using, go from an A to a B, what have you. I've seen that. You'll tell people who are maybe on the organ or piano who are playing right along with you. You've got musicians to play along with your preaching, which is a whole nother topic. And you say, make sure that you get me in the right key. I am a C minor. I am a B flat, what have you. And so he's saying, give me B major. And the man is like, preach. Maybe he can see that this is the foolishness and this is what we're dealing with. Notice what Paul says here in 1 Corinthians, one of my favorite passages. We see this passage all the time. 1 Corinthians 10:31. Whether you eat or drink, whatever you do, do it all to the glory of God, not to the glory of you, to put you in the right key. Look what he says. Give no offense to either Jew or to the Greeks or to the church. What he was doing was offensive. And we're going to see something even more offensive in just a second. Just as I also please all men in all things, not seeking my own profit. I'm not seeking whatever, my own set of glory. I'm seeking to glorify him, but the profit of the many, so that they may be saved. But we don't see this. We see people out there for their own. People out there who want to, as Peter said earlier, to lord it over people and compel them, under compulsion, make them do certain things. Why? Because it's about me.
Lift your hands right here. Lift your hands. Lift your hands. Lift your hands. All over this building. All over this building. Lift your hands. Lift your hands. Lift your hands. Lift your hands. All over this building. Lift your hands. I need us all on one accord right now. All on one accord. All on accord. Everybody lift your hands. Baby, could you do me a favor? Lift your hands or get out. Could you choose one? Lift your hands or get out. Could you lift your hands or get out? Choose one. Choose one. Lift your hands. Lift your hands. I'm not scared of nobody. I mean what I mean. I'm here to protect you. And anything that is in violation of it has got to go.
You're in violation of it, and you have to go. Lift your hands or get out. Really? Everyone else should have left. If I'm there and he says to someone else, lift your hands or get out, you know what? You all can have this. I'm getting out. Because clearly this has gone to his head. He thinks, I'm here to protect you. No, you're not. No, you're not. You are here to be something special. You are like Simon the sorcerer, thinking you are something special. And this is a problem. If you're in a church where there's no humility coming from the pulpit, there's no love. Paul says to imitate me as I'm imitating Christ. We don't see this from Jesus. We don't see this from any of the apostles. So if you're in that kind of place, we think that the best thing that we should see is their creativity, if they can preach and so forth. But one of the other things we ought to be able to see is their love and their compassion. And if you don't see that, I would say grab your bags, get your things together, and just politely or unpolitely, I don't care, just leave. That's the most important thing. Leave that place and go to a place where the word is being taught. It's being done so in a humble and loving fashion, not arrogantly, not seeking their own like we see here. Amen.